Once upon a time, a magnificent and bustling city thrived right along the banks of a mighty river. Traders came from far and wide, and the streets were always filled with laughter and life. But nature can be unpredictable. One year, a monstrous storm rolled in, bringing torrential rains and a violent flood that actually forced the river to change its course. Without its water source, the once vibrant city completely dried up. The citizens had no choice but to pack up and abandon their homes, leaving behind a ghost town of empty streets and crumbling stone. Before long, nature reclaimed the ruins, and it became a bustling kingdom of mice. They built a thriving community and even crowned a wise, gentle leader named Mushakraj as their king. Just when things seemed perfect, a miraculous spring erupted from the cracked earth, creating a massive, beautiful lake right outside the city walls. For the mice, it was pure paradise. They spent their days playing by the water, completely unaware that a sudden shift in the wild would soon threaten their peaceful new home. Deep inside the neighboring forest, a devastating drought had taken hold. The rivers dried into cracked mud, and the local wildlife was left desperate for a single drop of water. This forest was home to a massive herd of elephants, led by a wise and compassionate giant named Gajraj. Seeing his herd, especially the young calves, suffering from thirst, Gajraj grew deeply worried. That is when his close friend, a majestic eagle soaring high above, brought incredible news. She had spotted a massive crystal clear lake right by the old city ruins. Relieved and hopeful, Gajraj rallied his herd and they began their long march toward the oasis. But as thousands of heavy feet rushed through the narrow streets of the ruined city, the ground shook like an earthquake. The elephants were so blinded by thirst that they didn't even notice they were trampling straight through the secret kingdom of the mice. Panic erupted everywhere as the tiny citizens scattered for cover. Realizing his kingdom was on the verge of destruction, King Mushakraj knew he had to do something brave and fast. Mushakraj traveled deep into the jungle to confront the Elephant King. Standing before the towering giant, the tiny mouse king bowed respectfully and explained how the herd's daily march was accidentally crushing his people. Gajraj was completely heartbroken by the news, as he never intended to harm anyone. He instantly promised to find a different route to the lake, ensuring the mice would remain safe. Deeply grateful, Mushakraj thanked the giant and made a heartfelt promise of his own, saying that if the elephants ever needed help, the mice would be there for them. Gajraj smiled kindly, though he secretly wondered how such tiny creatures could ever help a giant like him. Peace returned for a while, but danger was lurking. Human hunters entered the forest, quietly setting up heavy rope, traps, and hidden nets. One night, while thinking about his herd, Gajraj accidentally stepped right into one of those wicked traps. A massive rope snapped tight around his leg, pinning him to the ground. He struggled with all his might, but the ropes only grew tighter. Desperate, Gajraj let out a thunderous cry for help that echoed through the entire jungle. Miles away, King Mushakraj heard the familiar cry and instantly knew his friend was in trouble. He didn't hesitate for a single second. The Mouse King gathered his bravest soldiers, and together they rushed into the dark woods. When they found Gajraj trapped and helpless, the mouse army swarmed the thick ropes, using their sharp teeth to gnaw through the fibers. Within minutes, the heavy rope snapped apart, and Gajraj was completely free. Looking down at his tiny saviors, the giant elephant realized a beautiful truth that true friendship and kindness are never measured by size.